We are live for the top story today. What's up, everyone? Jose G here. Today on the top story, we're talking about Samoa Joe. Huge interview over the weekend with Ryan Satin, and he gave us a little tease of maybe his in-ring return. Plus, some news dropping really as probably like 10 minutes ago, where SRS gives us some information about Vince McMahon possibly scouting some talents at the Performance Center. So those two reports and much more in today's top story.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's top story. I'm Jose G. Next to me, Jeremy Bennett. What's up, bro? Filling in for Kevin Kellum. How are you?
Good, man. How's it going today? And by the way, I've had this on all day. It was no coincidence.
Ah, you have had it all.
I've had it on all day, so it was no coincidence.
It's a sign of the universe that we were destined to talk about Joe, because, months ago, Joe was released in that huge wave of releases, not the one from Friday, but the one from before that. So Samoa Joe was released. That shocked the whole world. He most recently made his return back to NXT, and he recently sat down with Ryan Satin, and we're going to talk about what he said. But before we jump into all of that, guys, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you are engaging with the show. Make sure you're sounding off in the comments and let us know what you guys think of today's story. But more importantly, so we are going to be moving a lot of our content to YouTube only. So it's really important that you are subscribing to our channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, so that way you know whenever we drop a brand new video. But as we transition, our exclusive interviews and shows with Vince Russo are all going to be on YouTube. We're still going to have our top live stories on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as our post shows. But a lot of our exclusive interviews are going to be shifting over to YouTube. So make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. All right. So, Jeremy, what's going on with Samoa Joe? He had this huge interview today with over the weekend with Ryan Satin. He talked about what happened to him and this when he got released, when he got the call. What can you tell us about this story?
Well, he basically says, they basically asked him the question, are you working towards a return to the ring? And he basically left it into one sentence. He says, absolutely. We'll just say yes. We'll leave it at that.
So vague.
So we don't know when, but hopefully soon. Because, I think wasn't it like February of 2020 was the last time he wrestled a match in WWE?
That sounds about right. And then shortly after that, he started doing commentary.
Yeah.
And he was on commentary for a good latter chunk of 2020, early part of 2021, right before WrestleMania.
Yeah, all the way through WrestleMania. We all remember him in that raincoat, that poncho, as the rain was coming down in Tampa.
That was gold. That was
poor
gold.
guys.
That was great.
Poor guys.
But sound off in the comments. What are you guys' thoughts? I know it's a very vague answer during an interview. You really want to try to get out as much as possible, as much information from these guys. But there's only so much they can say. But with the fact that he said yes, and we're gonna leave it at that, that just leaves the possibility open. People are gonna start talking about Cross versus Joe, Gargano versus Joe. Theory versus Joe, Ciampa versus Joe.
Well, we can't get enough of those stare downs between him and Pete Dunne either. And they haven't even said a word to each other yet, just staring each other down. You know that there's going to be a beat down. There's going to be a brawl coming between those two once he gets cleared.
Oh, that's going to be yes, I can't even fathom. But guys, sound off in the comments. Let us know what you guys think of a potential return for Samoa Joe. And if you're not doing it, make sure you are engaging. Hit that thumbs up, hit that emoji button. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. We're going to read off some of your comments. But Samoa Joe, I think that, dude, if he comes back, it's a game changer. It is a complete game changer.
The landscape of NXT has changed since he last wrestled there. So there's a whole group of people that are, I don't know if Cross is still going to be there by that time. It always seemed, we always keep reporting that Vince wants him up there on the main roster, and he's backstage at Raw tonight. Probably gonna, it sounds like he's going to do another main event match. So I don't know if we'll get that. I don't know if he'll still be there by the time Joe's cleared, but we'll see.
Man, it'll be. I don't know. I think you're right about that. I think about Cross, he was featured on Main Event. Is being reported that he's there tonight. So draft has been reported. That's coming right around the corner too. Who knows? Which leads into our second story. Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful dropping some stuff on Twitter today, Jeremy, about Vince McMahon. He's reportedly at the Performance Center here in Orlando, down the road from where I live, literally. Okay,
go say hi.
Scouting some talent. Now, is this something that's possible? I think it may very well be. We're going to be hopping right back on the road here very soon. And with the live crowds, you want to put on the best show possible. So Sean Ross Sapp drops the little bit of tidbit. Fightful has learned that Vince McMahon is headed to the Performance Center to scout some talent. So with that being said, who do you think he's scouting at the Performance Center?
It's hard to tell. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to be like up and coming stars that haven't been on TV. Maybe a Parker Bordeaux. Obviously that's a guy that Vince loves. So a guy that looks like Brock Lesnar is probably somebody that.
Look at this guy. Yeah, baby Brock. Yeah,
push him right now, pal.
Let's get this guy on Main. We'll push him real quick.
And and I don't know if they're looking at established NXT stars to move up either, or if he's just it's hard telling if he's doing that, or just looking at brand new talent and seeing kind of evaluating where they're at. It's really hard to say, but it is interesting with the draft coming up, that he could be there's always that intrigue in the draft of those new debuting stars from NXT. It sometimes it happens on these past drafts. Sometimes they haven't used as many NXT stars when they do the draft. So maybe this year with crowds coming back and everything like that, they want to really shake it up and maybe bring some new blood into both the USA and the Fox shows.
Oh, absolutely. And with the return of live fans, coming up as soon as 2 weeks. Think about that. 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks away from live fans. So this is a huge deal. And they're going to be doing everything in their power to, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I'm just going to give it in my opinion. I think they're going to do everything in their power to kind of redeem themselves from what's been going on, especially on Monday Night Raw for the past several months. Yeah. So I think they're going to try to do everything to impress us on their way back to live touring, which leads to our last story. The last episode of Monday Night Raw is going to be taped in the Thunderdome. It's going to be taped in advance. And this a little tidbit of information is coming from our friends at WrestleVotes, who dropped today on Twitter, who says that it looks like WWE's final live show inside the Thunderdome will be Friday, July 9th. The edition of SmackDown. The July 12th episode of Raw will be the final one under Thunderdome. So I think I think we kind of knew this might be coming, especially they need to wrap things up over there in Tampa in order to get over to Texas. Mm-hmm. Do you think this is something we saw coming?
Yeah, I would assume so. Just because I was a little surprised that it's going to be taped, but at the same time, when you think about it, there's a lot of work that probably has to be done to get their footprint out of there for the Thunderdome. All those screens, all the setup. On top of that, you got this whole crew that hasn't really been used, and they've got to kind of get back into the swing of things with teardown setup. The whole crazy schedule that WWE has. They haven't had to deal with that. So there's going to be a lot of things that they need to kind of figure out and fine tune and make sure, they remember how to do everything right and everything works. So when that first live show, because that first live show is going to have probably more eyes on it. I mean, it was kind of a reason why ratings went down, was the lack of a fan experience has kind of turned a lot of the casual fans off. And so that's where the ratings have dipped. So now that, the fans are going to come back, I think, and you got to get back into that mindset. A lot of people, don't realize how much work it does and how many people it takes to set things up, tear it down, and go to the next city.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with fellow wrestling fans who have purposely stopped watching wrestling because there haven't been any fans in attendance, and they don't get the real genuine feeling of fans while watching TV. They get the the piped in sounds, and even in AEW had some piped in sounds every now and then. But even with that, I still had a lot of my fellow wrestling friends that be like, man, I haven't watched wrestling and I only know what's going on because you tell me what's going on, but they don't even know what's going on because they just really can't. They don't want to sit through something like that. But now that we're going to have the fans back, we should see a big boost in ratings, man. I think this is going to be awesome. Plus, with this whole thing being the final episode in the Thunderdome, could WWE run an angle on this? Like the Fiend, like the Fiend comes back and he just sets the whole thing on fire or explodes it. The final Thunderdome. I mean, I don't know. I think this is a good opportunity to take advantage of running an angle with it.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too. I thought, are they gonna mock destroy it? I know they're not going to completely destroy it.
No, because that's like millions of dollars worth of equipment.
I don't know if they probably rented that out. They probably got to return that back to the company that they rented it from or something. So, but yeah, you kind of wonder if they're going to do some kind of explosion or something, or maybe not. Who knows? But it would be interesting to see what they do.
All right, guys, sound off in the comments. We're reading some of your comments here. Jeff Samuel on YouTube saying Retribution will come back, Jose. You know what? They debuted in the Performance Center and died in the Thunderdome. So
man, I think you might be one of the 5 people that want that to come back.
Oh man. Let's see here. Reading some more of your comments. Thomas Bailey are on Facebook. What talent is WWE looking for? They're looking for under 26 and big and meaty. Big and meaty.
That'd be old Parker.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take for him to get. He's no experience. He's pretty green, so it may be a little while for him as a work in progress. But you never know. So. He could be. Vince could say, "Hey, let's make him someone's enforcer," and then they just throw him into the fire.
Do a Kevin Nash on him, right?
Yeah, just make him an enforcer. They did that with Braun Strowman too. I mean, Braun at first was so limited in the ring, they kind of held back on the things they did that a lot of people didn't realize how athletic he was, but they kind of just held him back into that Wyatt family. And so maybe they, as soon as Vince sees him in person, he's probably going to get the WWE title.
Yeah, I think that's like a common practice with big men in WWE, especially, when they don't have a whole lot of in-ring experience, they'll kind of pair them up with someone, kind of let them gather some experience and soak up some of that knowledge before going in there. And one really good example I can give out is Commander Aziz. He actually did pretty good in the ring. Yeah. I think, so being with Apollo, who is a seasoned veteran, I think that really helped him. Not only on camera, but with his in-ring stuff. And he did actually really well for a big guy. I can't say the same about Omos because Omos, he's really big. He moves a little bit more slower with a little bit more intention. So you really don't get to see a lot of in-ring work. But when he does it, it's very impressive because just the sheer amount of size he has.
It's kind of impressive how quick both guys are for as big as they are, and of course, maybe the draft will bring us the dream match of the Twin Towers here, possibly.
Joseph Rickheimer is saying there will be any big surprises tonight on Raw. Well, we do have a qualifying match, the last chance. Yeah, Drew McIntyre will be facing who we got? We got Drew, Randy Orton,
AJ Styles,
and AJ Styles. Which in any day of the week or any pay-per-view, that's a main event pay-per-view right there. That's a hell of a match. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup.
It's going to be intriguing. Prediction. It's going to be intriguing because there's 2 things here. The odd thing is, there's 3. Any of these guys can win because AJ Styles is probably going to be the most entertaining option in a ladder match like this. He would probably fit in the best. Drew McIntyre it doesn't seem like he's ever out of the championship picture. And then you got Randy Orton, his pal Riddle is already in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Will it make it interesting having both tag team partners in the ladder match to see what they would do? I said once this was announced last week that I thought my thoughts were Randy Orton was going to win. I seen a lot of people expecting Drew to win. And I see quite a few people expecting AJ to win just because he's the best fit. I personally think it's going to be Orton just for that dynamic with RK Bro.
I agree with you. I think this will be an interesting story to tell because of Riddle's mess up last week in Orton's match. This is a triple threat match. There's no DQs. So Riddle can easily make his presence known, not necessarily interfere in the match, but just cause enough destruction with scooting around the ring to not just distraction in order for him to for Orton to get the win, to kind of get back in his good graces. Because apparently Randy Orton's not answering his texts.
Nope. And so he's in the doghouse right now, but we'll see. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point with the triple threat, no DQ. So maybe Riddle does get involved somehow and help Orton get in that match.
Keep sounding off in the comments.
He wants to make Orton happy. That's all that Riddle lives for.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God. And then that look of him just like in complete disillusion last week when Orton's just completely ignoring him. But what's wrong, Randy? Just giving him that dramatic look, and he just pulls it up so good.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro. Jose Madero is watching us on YouTube. No, it's going to be Drew. He will be victorious. Let's see here. Thomas Belliar, RKO will break at Survivor Series. RK Bro. He's thinking probably Survivor Series. Let's say Jeff Samuel. I can't wait for this strap match with Elias. Yes, this is. I'm actually looking forward to that.
He threw an LOL on there, so I'm wondering if that was sarcasm.
I actually enjoy a good strap match, man. And even though Jackson Riker's involved in this, when do we ever get strap matches in WWE? When was the last time we got one?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. So
NXT, we had one. We had one in NXT, but not in Raw or SmackDown. So this is going to be fun. I think this should be fun. I think we're going to cringe a lot to the whips to the back.
Well, and John Morrison said in an interview, I think either today or yesterday, he said it. He's like, he thought that this last week's Raw was one of the best in several years, and it was good. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep that momentum with what they got lined up tonight.
Absolutely. And I think that because we are on the road to Money in the Bank, it helps out a ton because every match has to have a purpose for Money in the Bank. Because now not only you have the qualifiers, but you have some other things that are at, they're out of play. Because just like it happens every year, one of these competitors is going to get injured. So someone's going to get inserted to this Money in the Bank match that we're going to be like, what? We didn't see it coming, or we're gonna be so disgusted by it. So it just depends. It happened a few years ago when Mustafa Ali got taken out because of his injury. Kofi Kingston got put in play in here. So it can happen. It's
interesting. You have that group of disgruntled guys too. It kind of makes you wonder if that group of Jinder Mahal, Jeff Hardy, and you wonder if they get involved in that triple threat match somehow and just ruin it, and set something bigger up for that spot. That's something to look out for tonight too.
Oh, absolutely. I think tonight's Raw is going to have huge implications for Money in the Bank. So I think it should be a good show. It should be a good show. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us for these few minutes here at the day to bring you the top stories of what's going on in the world of wrestling. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media. Make sure you are hitting that like button. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, that notification bell, so that way when we drop any brand new videos, you get notified every single time. And we're also dropping all of our exclusive stuff. Interviews, shows are going to be all on YouTube. So make the transition over there, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and you're going to see all the exclusive stuff. We're still going to have our top stories daily here on Facebook and on YouTube. But, that's pretty much it for today, guys. So we want to thank you so much. I want to thank Jeremy for filling in for Kevin. Kevin, bro, you are the absolute best. You know that?
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, Jose.
All right, guys. So that's it. And guys, remember, when watching wrestling, Jeremy, tell them what's the most important thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely, positively, unequivocally enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.